Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the 3rd and 20 Dynasty Podcast. I'm JT, joined by Frank, Jake, Lounis. Season 2, episode 42. We just had our Dynasty rookie draft for the 3rd and 20 league. One of the players in there had like 9 of the first round draft picks, so it actually went along pretty quickly. Even though it was designed to be a slow draft, we got it done within a day. I don't know, not too many interesting things, I think, guys, that went on there. Christian Watson was a top, they used like 9th pick. I don't think that's that out of the question. I'm looking around at the draft right now. I don't think there's anything.
I think
you bamboozled me, JT. JT, you bamboozled me.
I bamboozled you? What'd I do?
Yeah, I traded back to just because I thought it was too early to take Jelani Woods at the end of the second, and I traded back, and you took him right in front of me. You bamboozled me.
Did not know that was a thing, but I'm very happy now.
I thought the early second went similar to our mock. I'm pretty sure, right?
Very similar.
I know. For me, I took Trey McBride at 203. I forgot.
I was praying, Dave. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I wanted David Bell to slide to 205 so bad.
Yeah, it seems like he's moving up. Oh, my brother's texting me about the Rangers.
Yeah, and then Frank and JT again bamboozled me in the second round. Before I traded back out of the second round, I wanted either Wandale or Mechie, and you guys took them with the 2 of the 3 picks right in front of me.
Yeah, what's going on, P to the R? Yeah, I don't know. I was deciding between Mechie and Dameon Pierce. I almost talked myself into Dameon Pierce on the stock market, but
I really wish you did.
Yeah, I just think that Mechie's a safer pick. I was more so going for floor in this draft, especially with like second and thirds in 2022 class. Like, I really don't like swinging for the fences in this one.
Yeah, I was debating Mechie at 203. I ended up going with McBride, but I was considering him there.
What's going on, John? How you doing, dude?
Hey,
all right, let's get it. Let's get into this.
Moving on. News and notes. All right, so we know, surprise, surprise, Rashaad Penny starting off with a hamstring injury.
Why did I get back on this fucking train?
That's all you.
Why did I get on? I've been right for so long, hard fading Penny, and then I'm like, you know what? Fucking and 4 games last year, he's a stud. He's a beast. Then they go out, they draft freaking a running back, and now he's back and injured. The season hasn't even started. We're not even close to starting, and the guy's already hurt. It's like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this?
Frank Entwistle was not a doctor.
Dude is paper skin, man. He's just, you breathe on this guy, he's getting hurt, and that's part of the reason why I think they went out and did draft Kenneth Walker. Between Penny and Chris Carson's injury history, it's a very long list that we won't go over, but they needed some depth at this running back position. They drafted DJ Dallas 2 years ago. He's clearly not really anything more than a special teams player for them. So they needed another running back, and they went and took a good one in Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, the shame with Penny is the talent's kind of always been there. Like, I know when the Seahawks picked him in the first round, is a little bit of a reach, but he was still viewed as like a second round back at the time, which is like kind of like the high end ceiling for most running backs in the NFL draft. He just could never stay healthy. Like, the times he flashed, and like we saw it at the end of last year, but like Jake said, that's why they got Walker.
All right, well, if you have Chris Carson, I have him in, I think, only 2 leagues. Both acquired this off season. What are you doing? That's the question. I personally am in hard holding. I actually, whether he does well this year, because of the 1-year deal, I still think that there's a chance that he goes to a new team because of the flash that he showed at the end of last year. Even if he's hurt for this year and plays poorly, whatever, that a team will give him a shot and he can earn that role in a maybe like a potentially murky running back room.
Yeah, at this point, you kind of have to hold. I feel like his value has dropped so much that, like, at this point, he's worth a roster spot. And, like, just off, like, the odds of if he can get opportunities again, I think I'm with you on that. I'm probably just leaving him on my bench.
Someone in the league that we're in together, that we have a team together, they did that bulk offer strategy for Chris Carson for 5th, and eventually got accepted. I forget. I'm just going to say it was 505, but I don't remember the exact pick that was traded for Chris Carson. I mean, for a 5th round pick, I think I would rather just have Chris Carson. So
the upside on Chris Carson, we've seen it. I mean, obviously he's a few years older, but if Pete Carroll's still there, it's the same offense. Obviously Russ is gone, but if he's healthy, he's proven he could be a RB1 in Seattle.
I don't know. The situation is so weird. All right. Would you trade Mac Jones in a 2023 third for Trey Lance? Yes.
yeah,
That's on the table.
It doesn't matter who your other quarterback.
you're going
is.
from
Yes.
Mac Jones at his
This
best.
isn't a question.
He's just giving you Mac Jones is his biggest upside is his just consistency that you expect. Like you think he's going to be the Patriots starter for, I don't know, 10 to 15 years, which that's not even guaranteed. But
I was gonna say it's not.
that's not guaranteed. But like he's just going to be that like 15 maybe points per game kind of guy. Trey Lance is, of all the current quarterbacks in the NFL, Trey Lance is the one that's most likely to get that Lamar Jackson game-breaking upside. Now, he is risky where it's like he might not pan out, but I mean, at the price of Mac Jones in a third, I think you're fine swinging for the fences.
I would say, what would it take? JT, don't you still have Lance?
Yeah, it would take a lot on top of.
I was gonna say, I thought when they were talking about Lance and Mac Jones, I thought he was about to say like a 23 first, where it's like that would probably be closer in price.
Correct me if I'm wrong, John Smith. I believe it's your teams that we're analyzing today, so we got that on deck as well.
I was offered Garrett Wilson for Akers. Thoughts?
I'd rather have Garrett Wilson.
Wilson is safer, but Akers has such a high upside in this Rams offense.
Yeah, but also a way lower floor.
Sure.
He didn't look good. I know
Garrett Wilson?
he did just come. Yes.
Like we haven't seen Garrett Wilson. I mean, I know you
We're
about
still
like Jamar
assuming
Chase
that
and stuff, but
We're assuming that Akers is going to look a lot better than he did at the end of last postseason. He looked terrible those last couple games.
Terrible is a strong word. But
That Bucks game was one of the
against the
Okay,
top
everyone
run
looked
defenses
bad
in the
against the
NFL.
Bucks.
No, he didn't play. He did not play well in the Super Bowl either.
Coming back from against another solid defense, a very underrated defense in the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm sorry, dude. The NFC East. I mean, the NFC West is a fucking easy cake division. Like he's going to be playing hard teams.
Yeah, but
I think
you're expecting a lot
that's
from a
still
guy coming off an
close.
Achilles injury right off the bat. Like
I know, but I'm saying you're still. I'm saying he is the lower
floor.
floor because you're still assuming more recovery.
If your team
That's an
is
assumption,
any
though.
semblance of being competitive, I would think I'd take Akers. If I'm
Yes.
hard rebuilding, I might just rather Garrett Wilson. Even then, I'd have to think about it.
I'm taking Wilson in both scenarios,
The issue about Akers is just
and also just a receiver. It's gonna last way longer.
that's more my like kind of concern about Akers. Like I don't have faith in what the Rams are, that team that could kind of just draft anyone and really screw you over. Like Bijan Robinson could be on the Rams next year. Like there's no telling what's going to happen with this team.
I just think if you're, he said he's competitive. I think if you're a competitive team, I'd just rather have the upside of Akers. If Akers ends up being that high-end RB2, low-end RB1 that a lot of people are just projecting him to be,
Well,
that's way more worth to your team than Garrett Wilson. And, Garrett Wilson's a great dynasty asset. Garrett Wilson's ceiling next year is probably like 900, 1,000 yards, if that, right? Like that would be a great season for him.
Yeah,
he's surrounded by two
I'm not
very
arguing
solid
against that.
receivers. So there's competition in that wide receiver.
I'm not arguing
room. Like, he's
against
going to
that.
have to earn those targets.
I just think dynasty wise, and I'm not one of the people who's like assuming that Akers is going to come back and be like this high end RB2, low end RB1. Yeah, I mean, he could easily prove me wrong, but I have to see it.
Garrett Wilson already above Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
He's a more
he is.
talented receiver.
I just
he
think
should
the
be,
problem with
yeah.
Garrett Wilson, like,
Rangers scored again.
I think the Jets' offense. I personally think is going to be pretty good, but I think that his role is going to be inconsistent, and it's almost going to be more of who's got the good matchup more than Garrett Wilson is going to be the alpha for any of this stuff. I think if teams are shading coverage and the good corners are on Elijah Moore, then Garrett Wilson, if he's one-on-one, he'll get the targets. Vice versa. Then you have Corey Davis, and they're going to run two tight end sets. It's just going to be like, how does Garrett Wilson come out and give you that elite upside where Cam Akers, you can easily see, you've seen it before, the elite upside that he has. You just hope that he's coming back off the injury well. All right, let's move on though. Let's move on.
Okay. Moving on from, that wasn't even in our news and notes. The 49ers, I feel like we talk about this a lot, but just trying to put a bow on this kind of thing. The 49ers still expect to trade Jimmy G. Kyle Shanahan reiterated that in a press conference, I believe it was. I just think nothing new. You have this like weird cult of people that are like, Trey Lance bad, Jimmy G good, like Jimmy G is going to be the starter. It's just like, Kyle Shanahan said it himself at the coaches meeting or wherever you call that. He's like, we just traded 3 picks for this guy. Like, this guy's going to be our starter. Like, we are going to roll with this guy. We're comfortable with this guy. So I don't know. We do the Dynasty stock market every Wednesday at 7:30, and Trey Lance took a hit last week because of Jimmy G still not leaving and people being worried about Jimmy G not getting traded. And to me, that's just off season panic is how I describe
you have
it.
to see it to believe it, right?
Yeah,
especially because Jimmy G's performance in the playoffs, like there was great moments and then there was bad moments, and because of the fact that offense wasn't putting up insanely good numbers, I think just goes to show you that Jimmy G's time is probably over. In San Francisco. Like, okay, yeah, maybe if they were going off and going crazy, I'd think more about it, but see it to believe it scenario. No dip on Trey Lance.
No, buy the dip. Apparently, if you could get him for Mac Jones,
there shouldn't be a dip. There should not be a dip. There just shouldn't.
If you could get him for Mac Jones at a third, though, definitely do that. All right, moving on from that one. That's kind of a non-story that has become a story due to Twitter. Moving on, Etienne, full go for OTAs. Kind of expected because it's been a full year, but that Liz Frank injury, it scares Jake to hell.
There's two camps. There's literally 2 camps. There's the
Liz Frank.
Get me the fuck away from this Liz Frank, and Etienne is going to be a top 5 running back. Like there's just 2 sides.
Man, I don't give 2 shits if this man is a full go, if he looks great running against the air, if he looks great doing the ladder foot drills. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Wow. It does not matter. This man has had one of the most serious injuries. I'm staying full away from him. He's a running back that hasn't played a snap yet and has already had one of the worst injury you could have. Don't touch this man. He's going to get hurt again. We've seen this.
The first 30 seconds of that, clip that, and that's my opinion of Cam Akers.
Damn.
But the difference is we saw Cam Akers do it, and the injury is not as bad. It's not as bad.
I mean, running backs have come back great from Achilles. Regardless, I do think it's a legitimate concern. I guess it's encouraging, but even as someone who likes Etienne, this doesn't really do much for me. Like it is kind of like you have to see it to believe it type thing. I guess we'll see in preseason, but that doesn't really matter much. I'm going to be kind of interested to see where his hype goes around this summer, because
he's going to go through the roof. He's going to be a top 12 running back before you know it. Everyone's going to be like, oh, he first round draft capital. He's on the, James Robinson's coming off an injury himself. Urban Meyer's gone, which is a plus. Like, there's just so much good. Like, Trevor Lawrence is going to take a step. This whole offense is going to take a step. Blah, 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 blah. We've seen this narrative before. It doesn't matter. He's going to get hurt again. And you're not, and you're going to be happy having him on your IR.
Jake, we have Etienne already as running back 11.
Exactly.
He's smack dab in the middle of Dobbins and Chubb.
Oh my God! If you can take Chubb and whatever value you can get, please take it and run.
There's like no
committed robbery.
It's like 5 keep trade cut points. Actually, it's 2. It's 2 keep trade cut points.
I don't think the Etienne is that overpriced. I mean, dude, Kenneth Walker is essentially the same price as Etienne. I think that Etienne is way better of a prospect than Walker.
I agree with you on that.
Simply because, I think they have a good amount of the same strengths and weaknesses, but I get a way better receiver in Travis Etienne on an offense that, you have the connection with Trevor Lawrence. That might be a little tinfoil hat, but I feel like we've seen so many examples of that working in players' favors that is a reason why I like him more. We've
No
seen the
skull
coaches
on-
are excited about Etienne. I like Etienne more than I hate him at this currently low end RB1, high end RB2 price. I don't think he's the best running back buy. I'd rather have Saquon at that keep trade cut price, probably David Montgomery at that keep trade cut price. But I still would have a buy tag on Etienne at that price.
I like Etienne still a lot. I do think he should be in like that low end RB1 or high end RB2 range. Oh wait, what happened in the chat?
Skull Dynasty. I think Jake is a Snoop Connor
Until
fan.
we get to the start throw ADP pick.
I'm not a Snoop Connor fan, but
That's hilarious, actually, because we were just saying pre-pod. Real quick, actually, let's talk about it.
Yes.
All three of you, Etienne or Akers, who would you rather have in Dynasty?
Akers.
Ooh,
I'm taking
Akers.
Etienne.
I think I'll go Akers, but it's close.
Better offense and not as bad an injury. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Looking at though, I think we're going. Did we all just take Akers?
I took Etienne.
Okay. Because Etienne's running back 11, Akers is running back 16, and there is actually like a somewhat of a difference between the two. Like, still not crazy, but like it's different than Etienne to like Chubb. Akers is
That's
valuable.
crazy to me. That is crazy.
Yeah, it
I
is
think
weird that
Etienne could easily become a DeAndre Swift, where it's like that
Yeah.
receiving workload gives him that high floor. I just think the problem I have with Etienne, but it's not the problem right now. It's more so the problem I have with DeAndre Swift is that he's still not going to be that Christian McCaffrey that people think he's going to be. Like, yes, he's a good player, he's young and all that, but I just don't want to pay that crazy high end price to the point where, I mean, there's been times where you could trade him for like a great quarterback, 1-for-1 DeAndre Swift. Etienne's not there yet. So like, will I be concerned about the fact that I don't think he's going to get like that 17 plus carries a game, or if James Robinson is back, that James Robinson won't be there eating some of the workload? Dude, at this price, I don't care.
I don't know. I don't think Etienne is a DeAndre Swift, but how I'll like kind of wrap it on the bow is if I have Etienne, I'm just going to hold him. I'm not selling him, but if I don't have Etienne, I'm also not actively going out to buy him. Like, I'm not trying to pay whatever his actual market value is to get him on my team. I'm just okay missing out on Etienne. That's how I describe it. All right. Last news and notes. This one I actually found kind of interesting, and I am the guy that's pretty anti-CH. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire had gallbladder surgery in the 2021 summer, and he was down to like 160 pounds going into the season. So you at least have a reason there if you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But now the question is this just your last sell opportunity before he goes into the season, or can he actually bounce back from a very disappointing?
What would you
season?
consider bouncing back? Like, it's like what kind of season?
Well,
would be
all right. So
considered
currently
like
on
a
keep
bounce
trade
back
cut,
season for him.
He's running back. Oh my god, I gotta scroll. He's running back 29 on keep trade cut.
I think he should be higher than RB29.
Should he?
29? Yeah. Because if this is, I thought he looked okay. I thought he looked all right his rookie year. Last year was kind of a shit show.
He looked all right in game 1 against the Texans that gave up a million yards to every running back.
That's
Didn't he
true. They
finish with
helped,
like
like,
800 something
Jonathan
rushing yards his rookie year? He played well in the Super Bowl. He was like
800 for
guys.
someone that's supposed to be the starting running back. Is
I know, but I don't think he played all 16 games.
No, he
To be
didn't. but-
completely honest, I think I could move him down further. I mean,
Wow.
Miles Sanders
Oh.
is running back 30. I think I'd rather
Okay.
have Miles Sanders.
Yeah, but there's got to be.
I'd rather
people
have
above him that
Sanders.
you could move down.
Kareem Hunt is running back 32.
No, well, we know how you feel
Like-
about him.
Ramondre Stevenson running back 36. Like, there's a bunch of guys that I think
You'd
can
rather
move
have
down.
Ramondre Stevenson than CEH?
I
Maybe.
just think that the decision you
Damn.
have to make on CEH is, because JT's right, this could potentially be your get out of Jalen Reagor moment, right?
Yeah.
Where Jalen Reagor early in the offseason before they drafted Devontae Smith was still worth a mid-second. And I mean, dude,
Early second of that.
yeah, early second, right? Like, you could have
Mhm.
sold him. you could still sell CEH for a halfway decent price. It's not like, you're in Rashaad Penny territory. It's like, oh, you have to hold him. You can't get anything. But the problem I have is that I agree with you. I think that CEH has shown more flashes than someone like a Rager ever has. Like that completely bust level prospect. I think CEH has shown more than that. So I would have a hard time selling him low. I think I'd rather hold him.
I think, okay, so the rookie season I'm talking about, I'm not talking about in 13 games his rookie year, he had about 800 rushing yards at 4.4 yards per carry and 297 receiving yards.
Yeah, over 1,000 all-purpose. He had a successful rookie year.
That's what I'm saying. Like his rookie year, he was decent. Last year, like I said, last year was bad. But that went to the point. I don't know how much this affected him, and obviously he got injured again during the season. That was the only point I was trying to make. Where he showed something his rookie season. He was finished like RB. I think it was like 22 or something, or 23. It depends what you could get. I'm not selling at like low 20s RB price. I'd rather just hold.
I don't even think it depends on what you can get. I think my problem is he going to be replaced next year? Is CEH going to come out here and, even if he has an all right season and his price goes up a little bit, he becomes RB24, RB23, right? Do the Chiefs go out there and just draft a new running back and then all of a sudden he's Devin Singletary? Where it's like, whether he's a good player doesn't matter because now he's no longer any sort of valuable. You're going to struggle to get a second or like a very late second you might be able to get, right? That's what I'm scared of.
The problem I have is I don't even think they need to spend that high a draft capital to replace him or pair him with another back. If they go out and use a third or fourth round pick on a running back, maybe even a fifth. Like if they brought in a guy like Keontae Ingram this offseason who was a sixth round pick, I think that's a guy that
they brought in Ronald Jones, right?
Right. They brought in Ronald Jones, and that's another guy that realistically is going to split that backfield pretty much down the middle. I really don't.
If that's the thinking, on CEH, I'm kind of maybe in on CEH then. Because I just
I still think he can have like I said, his rookie year he had 1,100 scrimmage yards in 13 games. I know Ronald Jones will take touches. I think it's hoping that he's in now that Darrell Williams is somewhere else, that he kind of takes over those receiving third down snaps. Because Ronald Jones can't catch for shit. So it's going to be CEH on all those passing routes. And someone you want someone not staying healthy, Ronald Jones has had the same issue.
Well, dude, I think that Ronald Jones, the problem with Ronald Jones is Ronald Jones. Like we saw it time and time again in Tampa Bay. Like when you're on a team that the Chiefs don't need to execute necessarily as well as the Bucks because they have Mahomes who just does this Madden stuff. But when you're on one of those competitive teams and you have a running back that just fucks up multiple times a game, he can't play. It doesn't matter how good of a running back he is. You can't play a guy like that who just is fucking up all the time. I actually think that I think there's a lot of similarities to Devin Singletary with CEH, where they both had good rookie years. That second season is kind of whack. Value goes down. But come year 3, both underpriced, both have a majority of the pass catching work. I think that CH is just a better running back than Ronald Jones. I think he's more trustworthy. I'd rather have him in fantasy. I think Ronald Jones is kind of a bait, to be honest. I don't think Ronald Jones is going to work out in Kansas City.
I'm not saying I'd rather have Ronald Jones than CH, and I'm by no means saying that, but I'm definitely saying he's going to take someone who carries. And we've seen this Chiefs team, whoever gets the ball is productive. We've seen Derek Gore be productive. Yes. We've seen Darrell Williams be productive. We've seen Damian Williams be productive. We've seen every running back on the face of the earth come to this Chiefs team and be productive. I don't think what he did was special his rookie year. I think it was just filling a role that was open to him. And not saying it's not open to him again, because it is open to him again. But I don't think he's that special of a player here. And I think he can be replaced very, very easily.
You guys are pushing me towards CH.
I'm pro CH.
Because it's just look, right now, I know we just looked at the running backs, but he's below Davis Mills. He's below James Cook. Like he's below a lot of these guys on keep trade cut that it's like, if CH can put it together, which has shown flashes like Lounis and Frank have alluded to. And, he does at least have some semblance of an excuse with his ankle injury, his gallbladder being out, and being super underweight heading into the actual NFL season. Like, there are reasons you can point to that if he could just get 60% of the Chiefs' workload, that is a very good place to be at the price that he's at.
What is the price? The problem is I don't think you're going to get an owner
less
to
than
sell
Davis
that.
Mills. I don't know. I mean, that's just what Keep Trade Cut says. Like, you don't think Davis Mills?
All these guys that have CEH probably took him at 101 or 102.
Yeah, well, they just had a very disappointing season. So
don't worry, Lounis is going to recruit you to the dark side, JT.
Oh no,
Lounis has the Sith Lord right now. He's recruiting you to the CH dark side.
You guys, it wasn't even Lounis. He's like, you guys pushing me towards him. You guys like threw me to the dark side. Like, he's ranked around Dalton Schultz. I'm sorry, I don't like Dalton Schultz, Hunter Renfrow. Like, you guys are just
don't you talk about third and Renfrow like that.
I don't know, guys.
It's low right now. It's really low. I don't know.
AJ Dillon 2021 greater than CEH 2020.
I mean, fuck. I'd rather have CH than half the mid and early second round picks this year. All those running backs, like.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's where. I think he is valued a little higher than that.
He's valued ahead of them. Like, so what about Rashaad White?
His value. I'd rather have CH.
He's like 2.02, 2.01,
202.
Yeah, so he's valued over pretty much everyone except James White.
He's in between 202 and 203. I'd much rather have him than Dameon Pierce. Like, much rather have.
Yeah, he is valued over Rashaad White and that whole gang.
And I definitely would rather have him than Rashaad White in that whole game.
Yeah, I would too.
All right, well, I guess I'm falling on the pro CEH side. Like, if you could get him for that price of Dalton Schultz or Davis Mills, where...
Yeah, sure. If you can get him for potato chips and
yeah, no, you're not getting it at that price.
But like, all right, if you're saying he's potato chips at this price, and this is what Keep Trade Cut is saying, then I think you're slowly kind of towards the CEH. Like, where do you draw the line?
I don't know. I would feel bad giving up a second, but like at the same time,
I would easily give up any second round pick in this draft per season.
I'd give up a second.
That's where I was going. Where like,
well, would you rather have him or David Bell? Because that's kind of where my question mark lies.
Well, you make it hard for me, but David Bell.
Yeah, that's why
my question was going to be him or James Cook.
I definitely rather have CEH.
Give me CEH over the bait lord himself. No shot.
They're both bait lords. Let's be real.
Well, Frank, who would you rather have, CEH or Devin Singletary?
I think I'd rather have CEH, but I might say that Devin Singletary is a better running back. I don't know. Dude, I like CH. Dude, I remember I like CH at LSU. I think CH is still a good player.
He's fine.
You know, that's the thing is that, like, initially I was coming in, this could be his Rager moment. But then I'm thinking back, like, Rager had so few shining moments where CH had, like, multiple good games. He has a great college career. Not great, but pretty lot good. More flashes in college I think Rager did, right?
Yeah.
I still think that he's a good player. And I still think the Chiefs have them in their plans. And I think that this Rojo thing has just dropped his price more than it should. All right, this is way too much time. Okay. We've said the same thing over and over.
Lost CH talk. All right. Moving on to our next segment, the dart throw pick. So anyone that is after a third round, meaning fourth round and on, who we think you should be targeting in your rookie drafts. I don't know who wants to kick it off.
Okay, well, we can start off. We have Romeo Doubs on here. We all like Romeo Doubs, but I think the problem is he's transitioning more into the third round than he was before. So I'm going to kind of say, okay, good dart throw. I would take him with 401 easily, but I don't think he's going to be in the fourth round in a lot of rookie drafts now.
I was going to say, I loved him in the fourth. As like he moves into the third, it's like,
yeah, I'm out on him. at where he could potentially be going. All right.
I like him in the fourth a lot though. So if he's available in the fourth or late third, I think.
You know what? I'm just gonna get mine out of the way so you guys can hate on me real quick, and then we could just.
Oh God, this guy.
So I'm talking to sell all Ravens guy right now, and I got Charlie Kolar here. Kolar. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Had, I believe, the highest yards per route run out of any of these 2022 tight ends. So that's at least intriguing enough for me. I know the situation is not great for where he landed in Baltimore. No. He's behind Andrews, but to me,
on the Ravens.
Well, I mean, we just saw what Andrews did. Wasn't he tight end 1 last year on the Ravens as tight end? I don't know where you're going with that one, but
for me, also the issue that didn't they draft 2 tight ends? I know this guy's supposed to be the better receiving one, and the other one's more blocking one.
Isaiah Likely is a pretty good receiver.
Isaiah Likely. Oh no, sorry, I got to mix up.
Likely I liked, but it turns out he's way less athletic than I thought, and his.
They were taking 11 picks apart. Let's be fair.
His receiving.
They like both of them, and they took them both very close together.
Didn't they?
Yeah, I agree with JT though. I think that Charlie Kolar is a much better tight end than Likely is. I think Likely the interesting thing with him is that they can use him in like a fullback and H-back role more so than Kolar was. But the thing is that Kolar was going a lot higher in drafts until he got picked by the Ravens. Everyone's going to say, okay, now he's just behind Andrews. He's fucked. I am buying the situation discount on Kolar. I've bought him in every draft, every rookie draft I've done. I've landed Kolar.
Here's the thing: he's not even on keep trade cut currently. He's not one of the top 65 Dynasty rookie players. Meanwhile, Isaiah Likely is 50th. So why is Isaiah Likely so far ahead of Charlie Kolar? Like, doesn't make
name recognition. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, I think the other thing is that I think we see the Ravens go out in a lot of 2 tight end sets. I'm not expecting Kolar to become a beast year 1 or even year 2. I'm holding Kolar long term because I just think he's a 3rd round rookie pick that is going in the 5th. I will take that, stash that on my taxi for the next 2 years, and pray that he can become relevant.
Yeah, he's a nice 5th round pick dynasty stash.
The interesting he's someone leave him on your taxi. I mean, rookie tight ends rarely produce anyway. And I mean, like, we've seen the trend with NFL teams now in terms of paying receiving threats. Maybe in 2 seasons they don't want to pay Mark Andrews, and then this guy can eventually step up. I think Mark Andrews has like 3 years left. If there's any team
for a guy to come up from a back end pick, it's the damn Ravens. Like, half their team was underpriced in the draft. Literally, like half of it.
Omar into the first. All right, the other guy who I'm just gonna get way more hate on is actually he was brought up in the YouTube chat earlier, Snoop Connor. I thought he was an okay back coming out, but he is just ranked really low. I think I just saw him on Keep Trade Cuz player 53, so that would make him 505. Middle of the 5th running back. James Robinson is probably not going to play for the majority of the season. Travis Etienne, like Jake was saying, coming back from the Liz Frank injury. He's this thick running back from Ole Miss. Like he's got that 5'10", 220. I would take him somewhere around the end of the 4th round, but he's going in the middle of the 5th. So I wouldn't mind throwing a dart at him and just hoping, we literally just saw it. I was at 2 or 3 years ago now with James Robinson there coming out of nowhere and becoming that lead back. So it's not like out of the question. I'm not saying go draft him at the early 4th or anything, but he has a dart throw 5th round pick. I like Snoop Connor. All right, not as much immediate hate, so I'll take it. Okay, there it is. There it is.
He's not worth a roster spot. He's just not.
I don't know. I think
I don't hate it. I don't hate it in the middle of the 5th.
I hate it.
He's one though that I wouldn't put on my taxi, right? He's one that I would just bring into the start of the season kind of thing, kind of feel it out, and then it's easier to just cut bait with him, right? He's not taking a taxi spot.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you there. But that's almost like a different segment, how to actually use the taxi. That I kind of disagree with people, but
okay, we could. That's all right. We'll put that in the future. Actually, how to use taxi.
Put that in the notes. Bang.
I'll put it down here. All right, those are my guys. Someone else want to take it off?
Sure. One of my guys he's going a little higher, pretty much early fourth. His ADP is currently 38, which puts him at 402. It's Keontae Ingram. He's a guy that I kind of liked coming out of the USC, formerly at Texas. He does a little bit of everything, and I think this Cardinals offense in Arizona is going to give him a chance to really, play a role his rookie year. They really don't have much behind James Conner, unless I'm missing somebody.
They just signed, what was it, Darrell Williams today?
They got Darrell Williams and Eno Benjamin.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have much behind James Conner, who's an injury-prone back, a little older. I just think Keontae Ingram in a high-powered offense is going to be a little fun to watch, and he's, at 402, not a whole lot of draft capital put into him. Good dart throw at the end of the draft.
I think he's meh. I don't love him as much as I did earlier in the offseason, but I agree with you. I don't necessarily hate it. I just think that the problem I have with Keontae Ingram is kind of why you like him, is that I think that backfield is more closed than you would think. I think that a lot of people would say, oh, that's a great landing spot for Ingram to come in and get carries. I don't think so, because James Conner is that red zone dude. I think if he goes down, it's not going to be Keontae Ingram who gets a majority share. I think he's going to have a minority stake of those carries if Conner is out. On top of the fact that Kyler Murray is just nasty, bro. Like, you have to use him in the run game too. So I think that eats a little bit into his carries too. Plus potentially a guy like Rondale Moore coming in and them doing more bull crap like that.
It's a good way to describe it.
I mean, listen, we saw Chase Edmonds be successful behind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So like there's enough rushing attempts for Kyler Murray, for James Conner, for another back. Do I think he's going to get all of Chase Edmonds' carries? No, but I think he has a chance to earn some more than you think.
He's currently going about 10 picks higher than I think I'd take him. Maybe like 8.
Really? You wouldn't take him till 502?
Like 412, 411 is probably where I'd take him. End of the fourth.
I actually kind of agree with JT. Not that necessarily I would take him, but then I think he's worth. I think that that's the issue, is that he's kind of being drafted almost as if he's the backup to. I mean, the reason why Haskins is being drafted where he's at, because he's the backup to Henry if Henry goes down. Mm-hmm. The problem I have, like I just said, I don't know if Keontae Ingram is actually the backup or not. Whereas I think with Haskins, I think he is the backup as of right now. All right, well, here's another guy. I guess I'll just swoop in. Jeremy Ruckert. It was on Jake's list. I agree. I think Jeremy
I like that one too.
Is another good dart thrower. He's another dude that I've been landing in the 5th round of rookie drafts. I mean, if you ask any Ohio State fan, or a lot of people that just watch the Ohio State offense a good amount, he's easily one of the more underrated weapons that team had, simply because
he was just buried.
You're buried a little bit, and they used him as a blocker a little bit. Does that mean he's going to come out here and be a beast of a receiver? Probably not, but for a 5th round pick, tight end, rookie, taxi stash, I've been landing a lot of Jeremy Ruckert, and I'm very happy with it. He's
someone, I don't know if this is what I'm going to turn the segment into, but he's someone that I would take in like the very early 4th, and he's going mid 5th, roughly. So I think that's very good.
Where's Jeremy Ruckert's ADP is 44 right now.
Is he? Oh, well, so still, I take him very early 4th.
Yeah, he's.
The thing is, I've been landing him in mid 5ths in a good amount of drafts, though.
I feel like he went mid 5th in our draft too. Let me check.
Or like very early 5th. Dude, I've always got so many 5th round picks, so
yeah, I know.
I just land all these guys.
The league's.
The last guy I have on here is Danny Gray from SMU, I believe is where he was from, and he's just getting a lot of hype. And I try not to read into it. Obviously, we've talked about the whole OTA training camp hype, but the Niners receiving core, obviously, Debo's a big question mark there. If he stays, the Danny Gray is going to be lesser part of this offense. But with Trey Lance stepping in, you figure this passing game is going to take a step forward from Jimmy G. They're going to run more deep balls, things along those lines, and really let Trey Lance do his thing. And I think Danny Gray is a guy that can fill that role alongside of Ayuk and Debo, and just fit in nicely as that deep threat or wide receiver 3 here.
I also really like Danny Gray. He was one dude that, of all of these late round dart throws, I was probably the most impressed with his tape that I was not expecting. And I'll also add another guy in there, Calvin Austin on the Steelers. I think he's a nice underrated player. The reason I like these two guys is simply put, I just think they're underpriced. If one of those two dudes went where Romeo Doubs landed in Green Bay, they would be firm 3rd round picks. And because they're in these wacky landing spots where you can't easily see how they're going to be used and get production, you're getting a good discount on them. Same thing with Charlie Kolar. So all 3 of those guys, I will take this landing spot discount in the rookie draft to the bank. And I've been landing them in a good amount of drafts with these 4th round picks, or in Kolar's case, in the 5th round.
Okay. Anyone else you guys want?
I got a couple more guys. Okay. So another guy that we've talked about before that I like as a dart throw is Kennedy Brooks. He landed as a UDFA with the Eagles. He's actually been gaining a little bit of traction as like a popular post-draft ad, now being drafted in the potentially late 4th, I've even seen, but mostly in the early 5th. I just think he's a good runner. Had 1,000 yards every single year at Oklahoma. Really interesting prospect. He's like one of those dudes that he's not necessarily fast, kind of like Ramondre Stevenson, where it's like you watch him, he doesn't look fast, but he's kind of making people miss with his speed and his quickness somehow. And he's just a power back, and he does a lot of things. I think that he's an interesting player. Now for deep sleepers.
Hold on. Kat just said Calvin Austin is a Smurf. You want to?
Yeah, that's true. He's a tough player, though. He's a tough cookie.
So Wandale, but who cares?
2 deep sleepers that I like. Very deep. Like, easy UDFA every draft. Reggie Robertson Jr. out of SMU. This guy might... I know that he has a couple of truthers hidden in the cracks of... You know, if you go to where what is that dude's name from?
I was cracking up at the face Jake made when you said that guy's name.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
Jake was like, what'd you just say?
Who's the dude from Lord of the Rings with the meat precious? You know that guy? What's that guy's name?
Creature.
Does it start with the G? It's
no, like that's Harry Potter, bro. Yeah,
Smeagol and
Precious.
It's Smeagol and his other guy. Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum. There it is.
I don't even like Lord
if you go to the dark Gollum corners of r/Dynasty, you'll see a little bit of Reggie Robertson hype. He landed as a UDFA with the Titans. I think he's a good player, deep threat player. I think he could easily challenge a guy like Westbrook Akina for that role that he had. And then the last deep sleeper I have is Mekhi Polk out of Mississippi State. I actually thought he was a lot smaller than this. I'm pretty sure he's listed at like 6'3", 195. Relatively productive at Mississippi State. I thought he would get drafted somewhere on day 3, but he went undrafted to the Ravens. So didn't necessarily love his tape, but considering the Ravens receiving room and the fact that I think he should have been drafted, easy UDFA ad for me in a lot of leagues. I will snatch him up as a dart throw on the back end of my roster.
I'm just thinking.
I've never.
When I watched this episode,
I watched a lot of guys, and that was not one of the guys I watched.
Dude, Reggie Robertson's low-key nice. He's at SMU with Danny Gray.
Well, did you guys see the other guy though from Texas A&M, the Senior Bowl? He's a good dart throw too. Squish Malosh. He's.
Oh yeah, Henkin McCrinkleberry as well. He's pretty good.
I was not sure if Frank was hitting us with like the Key and Peele fake names for a second.
No, if Frank was making it up, he'd think of a name called Velas or something.
That guy should be made up.
All right, you guys want to get into the next segment?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the rest.
All right, so this is gonna be a fun one. Where we did this a couple episodes ago, we thought of bringing it back. Player versus now. Okay, bear with me here. I'm gonna try my best to explain this. Random/late 2023 first. What this means in human terms is it's projected late, right? It's you're trading it to like a projected playoff team, but it still has the upside of not being in the playoffs, right? But you're not, it's clearly not one of these. Oh well, it could be pick 1. It's like it's not going to be pick 1, but yeah, it could be pick 5, right?
I get you. I get you. Like they're a playoff team, but they're not like a top 2 contender.
So that's how we're valuing this first. It's not you type it in on Keep Trade Cut, and you see, oh shit, I just pulled up somewhere. And you see 2023 late first, right? Like, okay, it's a little bit better than that. I hope I didn't end the stream or anything.
The stream's still going.
We still
going.
All right. Player number 1. I think this is an easy one. Player versus pick. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. It shouldn't be that difficult.
There's a lot of good running backs coming out in 2023.
I know. If it was this year, it's easily Saquon.
But like
but
this could be, again,
23.
we're talking about like this pick could be anywhere from like 5 to 12 theoretically.
Oh yeah.
This pick is not Bijan Robinson. Get it out of your head.
I know it's not Bijan. But there's still other good running backs coming out.
Skull says pick. Jeez.
Oh wow.
It's hard.
He answered that quick too.
It is a
you got a
good class.
I'm taking Saquon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you two were like you guys were very convinced that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like
Saquon.
I mean I understand picking Saquon.
You know, maybe it's just the contrarian in me. Give me the pick.
Oh God.
I'll take.
Would you believe you got Saquon?
I'll take Saquon.
And I got T. Higgins and a first there and 2 seconds, and I was called a madman.
Did you make the playoffs with that trade? I'm just wondering.
Skull hates Barkley. Dude, I like Saquon. I think he's going to be good for the Giants next year.
Fuck. It's tough. I'm taking Barkley, like, just banking on the fact that I think Dable is going to make their offense a lot more stable. But
also, this offensive line is the best offensive line the Giants have had in 15 years.
Well, by the way, that one went. I think there's going to be a common theme with a lot of these players that I chose. Then, Darnell Mooney, player versus pick.
Oh, pick!
Oh my God. Smash pick.
You kidding me?
Yeah, take the pick.
Oh no, Frank. Oh no.
I think it's closer than it looks, though. I like Darnell Mooney. I think he'd be good. The dude's gonna get like 190 targets. How many targets that 2023 pick getting, huh? None.
Well, if he goes to the Bears, then all those. They draft a receiver in the first and second round.
All right, there was a little bit of love for this guy early in the episode. Player versus pick, Elijah Moore.
That's more intriguing than Darnell Mooney, but I still
you'd rather have Mooney than Elijah Moore? Or these isn't in order?
Close, right? I don't know. I like Mooney. I've always had a soft spot
I like Mooney too, but I just think Elijah Moore is different to your receiver talent-wise.
Yeah, I'm taking the pick anyway.
I'm taking the pick, but I really like Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore was a tougher decision than Mooney.
JT, did you say pick?
Yeah, pick. I'm just looking right now. I wanted to check the maybe it's what year is Sean Tucker? Is he 2024?
I think he's 2023 as well.
No, yeah, he's 2023 as well. Yeah.
He's ranked so low on Keep Trade Cut.
Dude, he's a house. I love Sean Tucker.
Running back 19. Oh
his
my God.
Twitter is awesome. This dude is literally just a robot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his Twitter.
He's ranked
dude, his Twitter is great. When he tweets after the games, he's just like, I could have ran for like he's literally you just read his game in robot. It's just like we won 24-20. I had 224 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I think I could have done better, but good win for us team. Like
it's like
that is his
generator.
I can't believe he's running back 19.
I love Mooney.
That
Grabbed
was
it on
huge.
waivers his rookie year. Yeah, Mooney was one of my more favorite like later round rookie picks, and dude, that was probably one of my biggest hits. I love Mooney.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I still like Mooney. It's just I like Elijah Moore, and especially
Dude, Elijah Moore. I actually want to take Elijah Moore over the. I love this 2023 class though, dude.
that's why I can't.
I think I'm gonna take the pick, but damn, I want to take Elijah Moore.
I think a lot. If you told me for sure it was gonna be like a contender late first, like it's 110 to 112, like I'm pretty confident in that. I think I might take Elijah Moore, but like the off chance that it's not even like 5, but like 7 or 8, I lean the pick.
All right, player versus pick. Cam Akers.
Oh, the pick.
All right, it's more interesting, but I'm going pick.
Pick.
I'll take Cam Akers.
Oh,
Frank's just here to make the segment interesting.
I want the upside.
Player
Yeah,
versus
I want
pick.
the upside of a first round pick in the 2023 draft.
Yeah, you know what? Get out of here, Liz.
Man, not a lot of players going on here.
Player
All right,
versus
Al-
pick. Tight end
Al-
premium, by the way.
can we play as
Alvin Kamara.
TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, pick.
That's hard.
I'm gonna take the pick, and I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
I think I'm taking Hawkinson.
I'm taking TJ. Give me
I
the
think
Hawk.
I'm taking
Give
Hawkinson.
me the Hawk monster.
You have an elite tight end, man.
Elite's a strong.
I think this is
No,
the year
no,
that
obviously
Hawkinson
he's
breaks
not
out.
right now. He's still super. I think he will become an elite tight end. I think he can become like a Mark Andrews.
Skull Dynasty and John Smith both taking the pick on Akers. I believe that was.
Yeah,
Alright,
people in
player
the chat
versus
say like
pick.
pick over whatever player you're mentioning.
Player versus pick. Sky Moore.
Oh, the
the
23
fucking pick.
the pick.
Yeah.
Pick. He's like my 107 in this draft, and so
Yeah.
like I'm high on him.
Yeah, no, I'm
And,
pretty. I'm exactly the same with you, JT. I'm like 107 in this draft, and
You want me to start giving some, Frank? How about Devontae?
No, we're
Smith?
getting through my damn list, JT.
Okay, we'll
we're
get through
getting
your
through my
list.
damn list.
Put Devontae Smith on your list next, and then we could do it.
I'll take the pick as well. Player versus pick. Cortland Sutton.
pick.
Pick.
Cortland Sutton. I'll switch it up here.
Get
Cortland
out of
Sutton.
here.
Fuck out of
Go
here.
home.
And the worst
Go
part
home.
is
This is the first
gonna-
one like I haven't
gonna-
agreed
I'm
with you
gonna take
on.
Cortland
I'll
Sutton
get
as
you
well.
home.
he's gonna
Oh, not
take
sure.
the-
You took Saquon, but
Yeah, that Notre Dame tight end Michael Meyer. That dude's a house. He's a beast.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
awesome.
But I think he's going to be overrated by the time he comes out.
I think he might be like a little bit better of like an NFL player necessarily than elite receiving tight end, but he's really good. But Brock Bowers is a beast too. I like Brock Bowers out of
He's so
Georgia.
good.
We saw it.
All right, player versus pick. Brandon Ayuk.
The pick.
Pick.
Intriguing one.
No, it's not.
I mean, you gotta remember, like this pick could be anywhere from 1.5, which would be really good, to 1.12, which would be
Yes.
not as good.
Yes.
For reference, though, like
Just look last year at the end of the first. Like Jake got Waddle at like 112, and this is a better.
I mean, that was a really good class.
Yeah, that's
and
yeah.
I don't know. And
Yo,
I don't
Joe
know, man.
Herbert, what's up, dude?
I mean, currently the 12th person on Keep Trade Cut is DJ.
is DJ
Takes over Ayuk.
Of
Dude,
course,
I
it's that
like
guy.
Ayuk though. I mean,
I
I
like
think
Ayuk, too.
Ayuk's price on Keep Trade Cut is more attractive than this scenario. But I think it's damn close, dude. I think it's
Like-
close.
Hey guys in chat.
Like,
I think I go Ayuk.
yeah. Like Raheem Jarrett is like right now receiver 5. and the
Yeah, I like
dude's an
Raheem Jarrett.
Absolute beast.
He's gonna climb up though. He's gonna climb up for King Jarrett.
I mean, it's just honestly next year. It's just the damn running backs. It's like you can easily see 5 really nice running backs.
I mean, Bijan,
and a few
Jamar
quarterbacks.
Gibbs, Tank Bigsby.
and a few quarterbacks.
I'm
That
gonna
are
go
gonna
the
go
pick,
early.
but I hate it.
The problem is next class is just insane.
Yeah, because
All
it's
right,
also
well-
2 top 5 quarterbacks.
Last
Stroud and
one,
Bryce
Travis
Young.
Kelsey, and we can add Devontae Smith next.
The pick.
Oh, Travis Kelsey, my heart. My heart hurts.
Pick.
He's so good. Okay,
I'm gonna
he's
take the
so
pick.
good.
If this was Travis Kelce 3 or 4 years ago, definitely Kelce.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
no
Thanks,
shit,
thanks,
Lounis.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, if this was
Lounis.
Tom Brady at the
Really.
beginning of his career, I take Tom Brady. I'll come out and say it. I'll let you
Lounis
guys
be
know.
like,
I'm
wait,
taking
is this
Tom Brady.
Dynasty?
Taking. He's so. How old is he now?
He's 32. I'm gonna take the pick, and it hurts because I think he's still gonna have another top season for a tight end, obviously.
Sure, next year.
So I don't see the wall coming, and maybe I'm
No
just
one never
blind,
does. No
but
one
the
never
wall does not appear to be coming.
does. Those walls hit like out of nowhere. You
all
don't see
right,
them coming.
Devontae Smith, last one, courtesy of JT.
Pick.
The pick every time.
Really? I wasn't sure if he would.
It's close.
I'm gonna go Devontae Smith.
I figured this would be a split one, or maybe
I lean Devontae, but it's super close. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty even value.
I wonder what Chad thinks. Devontae or Pick?
John
Name
Smith
the
said,
top
"Name
12
the top 12 players next year. They all can be the best at their position." Yeah, I mean,
What do you?
not like the
Yeah,
right. I think,
yeah, no, you're right, John. It's loaded.
Well, like
I
what do
mean,
you?
I think I think he's saying like you name the top 5 receivers in Smith and Jigba, Booty.
Oh, okay.
Jordan
I was
Addison,
confused. I thought he was saying
Marvin
like
Mims.
Bijan
Just the
would be
fact,
the
just the
overall
fact
running
that
back
Smith and
one.
Jigma isn't a lock for wide receiver 1 is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The fact, like,
Well, dude, actually, impromptu segment. You saw Addison went to USC now. Now he gets
Yeah.
paired up with Caleb Williams,
Oh,
Lincoln Riley.
he's
that
about
whole
to
gang.
go off.
yeah.
As
I
if
like
he
him, but he's
didn't
not
go
my
off
wide
at
receiver
Pitt.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but put him with Caleb Williams and that offense.
Lincoln Riley.
wow. Yeah.
Against
well,
Pac-12
damn, dude, you
defenses.
could I mean, I think it's a little different with the first in some of your leagues, but like if you have these, dude, these firsts are expensive. I mean, we just proved it. We 4-0'd some good players on the pick side, right? Cam Akers 4-0'd. Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is like valued as like a top 15 receiver in Dynasty right now. He got 4-0'd by a potentially late.
Yeah,
first.
because if you could turn him into Jordan Addison, are you not doing that every single time?
Chat, are we on crack? Are we just
Jordan
drinking
Addison's
the
a weird
Kool-Aid?
one. But if you're telling me I could turn him into Raheem Jarrett,
Sure, same thing. Like you could turn him into that.
Quinn Johnson,
Michael Mayer, maybe even Tank Bigsby, one of those guys. Like you're getting a top player at a position.
all right, we want to move on to our, I believe, final
You
segment.
can go on the league analyzer. All right, so I
Yeah.
believe this is John Smith.
Are we
John
analyzing
Smith?
1 or 2 of his teams?
I think he had 4 teams.
Okay.
Now I
Let's do
was
it.
taking a look. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. Here we go. I think a lot of these teams are in a very similar spot. Oh, geez, hold on. Okay, so yeah, like this team, right? Now, taking for granted, I didn't deploy an update yet, so the picks are still relatively overvalued. But if we look at his, so in terms of total value, he's towards the top. In terms of player value, slightly below average. You look at his team, what does that mean? This dude stacked picks in a lot of his leagues, right? So here's one team. He's got Mahomes, a ton of these 2023
Whoa.
firsts. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 23 firsts, it looks like.
It's a good place to be, but
We can go to one of his other teams.
No wonder John Smith is saying, name the top 12 players next year. They all can be the best at their position.
See, here's
He has
another
the entire
team he's
draft.
got. This team is nasty, right? And so he's got like Mahomes, Javonte, Brees, all these dudes. Then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 firsts in 2023. Then we can go to another team, right? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firsts in 2023.
Holy shit.
And then there's one team that is not in that position, which I haven't looked at yet. So I think we can kind of treat teams 1, 3, and 4 all very similarly because he's had a very similar strategy in stacking up these draft picks in future years. And he seemed to have invested a good amount of his other assets at the quarterback and receiver position.
I mean, to be honest, the way I have some notes that I wrote down from earlier, I think that for a lot of these teams, you've done the hard part. Or if you're saying that you took over an orphan, someone else has done the hard part then, where you have a ton of value. You have a ton of draft picks. You have good quarterbacks, good young receivers, and your bench for some of these teams really isn't bad. Like on this team, you have some good bench players in. Okay, maybe it was a different team, but it's decent. Like
super flex.
Yeah, these are super flex. But like I think you've done a decent job, right? You've picked up a guy like a Hassan Haskins and a Kenneth Gainwell, and those. I mean, I think you could use a couple more of those types of running backs on the back end. But I mean, even if right, you stacked good little running backs, you have a ton of firsts, you have good young players. You're not harboring these bad vets, right? I think you've done a lot of the hard part, but in my opinion, for these three teams, what you need to do is not think in the complete value mode and start thinking like a contender mode. Now that you said that some of these teams were an orphan, I'm not sure if this is the trap that you've necessarily fallen into, but I've seen a lot of teams on r/Dynasty and Twitter fall into this trap where they have the necessary value in draft picks and good young players, but they consistently and only think in good draft picks and young players. Once you've reached this point where you're at, where you have nasty amounts of value, you need to start thinking like a contender. And to me, that means a couple of things. One, buy good players as investments, not just picks. Now, this does not mean, and I'm going to reiterate this a couple teams, this does not mean making those all-in trades, right? That's not a good investment. That's just a bad way of saying that you overpaid for a vet. What I mean by a good investment, last year, Mark Andrews was probably the perfect one. And I was not coming out here saying to buy it, but he would have been the perfect investment. Good player disposition, young, not super flashy. You probably could have picked him up for just a singular first or maybe a smidge more. I think that you need to transition some of your draft capital into those types of investments, because those types of investments both still have ceiling to go up so you're not losing value, and give you points so that you can win championships. So some of those players to me, and I would test the market for, Saquon Barkley, Darnell Mooney, Christian McCaffrey, TJ Hawkinson. Considering you've done a good job building these teams, I'm not sure you need my advice on players like that to buy. But that's the one thing that I would look to do. The second thing I would look to do, and this is what I'd probably look to do more than the first one, is you need to get out of some of these good young players. I know that's contrary to what people think in Dynasty, but trading a guy like Antonio Gibson for a veteran receiver or a veteran running back that you can get points in plus still park value, boom. Now you can raise your floor while still having the value. That's what I would try to do with some of these teams.
I think John Smith wants us to look at the layover Dynasty team.
Okay, so I believe that's this one. Is that this team? But yeah, I mean, those other teams, it's like pretty self. You've done a great job building those teams. I just think that you could mitigate some of your risk by getting out of some of those young players.
Joe Herbert, go and trade all those 23 first for Justin Ross.
Got him.
Because as we can see, this is the one. Okay, this team.
I also saw John Smith looking to trade Mac Jones for Trey Lance. Was John, were you the one who sent that? You got offered Lance for Mac in a third? Because if you got that, then you should definitely take it. Without question, you should actually accept it right now if it's on the table before the other team revokes the offer. If that's you're not the person who sent that trade, I don't even know what it would take on top of Mac Jones to get Trey Lance. Like a first round in value normally. JT, what would it take for you? Like if I came to you with Mac Jones and a 23 first, would it have to be like a mid first?
Mid to early.
Yeah. So, and I think that's a fair answer. So, the fact that it would take Mac Jones in a mid to early first for Lance, and you're getting Mac Jones in a third, or you're
Is this the
that's all you have
wrong
to give
team,
up.
John Smith? I want to make sure.
It has Justin Herbert on it. He said
Herbert is the orphan. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the Justin Herbert team. All right, so what to do with this team? Because you're right, this is the one team that is in a really wacky spot. So from the looks of it, you've got 223 firsts, good
22
quarterbacks,
picks.
Great
And-
quarterbacks.
yeah, Herbert, Lance, Carson Wentz. I mean, you definitely build a lot of your teams through your quarterback, so I think that's a good one.
so. His starting lineup looks something along the lines of Herbert and Lance. Who's his next running back after Cam Akers?
Devin Singletary.
Singletary, Cordero Patterson.
And then his wide receivers would be Claypool, Ayuk. Is Cortland Sutton there? I thought I saw
Tyler Lockett,
Tyler Lockett.
His receivers are
Russell Gage, Corey
tough scene,
Davis.
but
Lazard.
Yeah, not a lot of receiving help.
the thing with the receivers, though, is we've seen it. You can buy receivers pretty cheap that can put up some.
Oh, he doesn't even have to worry about it. He's got Terrace Marshall, so he's good.
Oh yeah.
Clearly the issue with this team to me is that outside of the quarterbacks, you just have players that don't really provide you a competitive advantage at their position.
Looking to trade Akers. What wide receivers did we debate with Akers? Did we debate any wide receivers at all?
Akers versus like a wide receiver. We
Yeah.
debated Akers versus Etienne. I don't think we did any receivers. Oh fuck! I exited out of keep track of that.
He's going around Elijah Moore. I don't think I would trade like Akers for Elijah Moore. I don't know.
I
if
think
you
the
guys
problem with
disagree.
trading Akers is that Akers to me is like the one dude on this team that has that elite player upside outside of your quarterbacks and who you can take with your draft picks.
I think Ayuk and Claypool could potentially hit that.
Don't sell Claypool.
I'm not
That's a little
writing
bit of
either of
advice
those
I can
off.
give. It's crazy how
Absolutely
low
not.
Claypool's value has fallen.
George Pickens, man, dude's the truth.
I believe it. I think the Pickens thing is more so like I don't think they're gonna pay Deontay, or if they do pay Deontay, then they won't pay Claypool and he'll go somewhere else. I don't know. One of them isn't getting an extension.
Because this isn't necessarily a bad team. I think you can compete with this team, but you're not going to be one of the favorites to win it. And you like, I think you might even struggle to make the playoffs if you have an injury or two. I'm just trying to think of what I would do in this scenario.
The way that this current team is built, I don't think makes playoffs. I mean, I don't know what his other teams look like.
Honestly,
The other
like
teams.
I mean, I think you kind of have to make a move here, similar to what JT did in one of our
I like
leagues,
where
where
this is going.
he traded Justin Herbert for Trey Lance in 2 firsts, I think it was. So therefore, you still keep a young, good quarterback, and you pick up a lot of value. That's how you're going to build depth on this team, because there's not much else here to build depth with.
Yeah, but you got like Akers, you got picks. I
Sure,
like
you could do the same.
the idea of having Herbert and Lance, and that means like your GQBs are set.
Sure, but then how are
It's
you
easier
picking
said
up
than
value?
done to trade.
What are you picking up value here? I mean, if you look at this team outside of Akers and the 2 quarterbacks, you're not going to pick up value on anyone else there. So like,
Yeah,
if
John
you
Smith
really wanna-
agrees. Tanking this team, it's a loss year. Yeah, this
Exactly.
is not a.
Yeah, you should.
So-
You should. I'd keep the QBs. I understand.
Or if you want,
value.
you could go. You don't have to trade Herbert. You could trade Lance. You could do the same thing here. You could trade Lance into Zach Wilson in 2 firsts, whatever it is. Zach Wilson in a first, and now you picked up an extra first. And
At Lance's current price, I don't think you're getting a first on top of Wilson for Lance. I think there are some people right now that would rather have Wilson than Lance, which is crazy to me, but
Crazy.
I don't think I just think that's the reality of what we're dealing with right now. Yeah, I'm not.
I
wouldn't
like
trade
his
like that.
quarterbacks. I don't want to trade. these
Yeah, I'm not
quarterbacks.
trading these guys away either.
Because, dude, like, if you trade them away, it's just going to be fucking a pain in the balls to get them back, to get quarterbacks like that. I think the thing is that I don't like about this team is that these receivers I just am queasy about. So to me, honestly, other than Ayuk, I would try to trade all these receivers.
I'm not selling this low on Claypool. I think his value is dropped
like this
too low.
low. He's valued pretty damn close to Ayuk. I really don't think you're selling too low on Claypool.
What is Claypool at right now?
not very high.
The thing is that I think I would trade Claypool in a second for a first.
It depends where the second and where the first is.
Or on the contrary, I would trade Claypool in a second for a receiver that I just like a lot more.
Yeah, like Claypool's he's wide receiver 44.
Yeah, Frank, you're not off.
John Smith is saying
Frank, I just put it in as Claypool on a 23 mid-second for a 23 mid-first, and it comes out roughly even. It says you should be getting more along with the first in terms of fourth, the Kylan Hill, Denzel Mims, Tutu Atwell, pretty much nothing. So, like, it's not, you're not too far off there.
100%, I think you could do it for a team in 2024. Maybe not 100%, but I think there's a good shot.
I'm team hold Claypool.
Same. I still think he's talented.
Yeah, but I don't think this guy has the team to hold Claypool with. I really don't think that he's in the position.
This isn't the guy.
Yeah, but you're...
Same thing with Dalton Schultz. I think that I would try to trade Dalton Schultz.
I would definitely try and trade.
Trade Schultz.
Because you could actually get like a second.
I just think Claypool's value would be higher a year from now.
Tyler Lockett is interesting because I don't know. Tyler Lockett's hard to trade. And dude, I feel like if he leaves Seattle, his price could actually go up next year, which is hilarious.
I think they might trade him, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I mean, dude, I guess because he said he wanted to trade Akers, I almost feel like, okay, well, what's the offer? More so than should you or should you not trade Akers? Because now, like, if you start selling all these guys, you could try to go for the 1 year Reddit retool, get another 23 first, pick up some more draft capital and good young players, and then all of a sudden in a year or two, you have a stacked young team built around those good quarterbacks you have, and then you can start being a contender and doing the things that I said for your other teams. Like, I think that that's a safe way to rebuild, and you have enough value in your players, and you already have some draft picks that you can do that.
Looking to sell Alan Lazard. He's the number one right now, right?
You could definitely sell Alan Lazard for a sellable price.
Christian
Same thing with
Watson's
Russell Gage, too.
No, isn't Alan Lazard? Valdez Scantling's on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, Valdez Scantling's on the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Russell Gage, when he starts playing and he starts scoring points on a good offense, you could 100% sell his ass for a second.
Oh yeah, don't sell Russell.
I would sell Russell. No, I would sell Russell Gage right now because I'm.
No, I think he's going to have
Brian Edwards truther comes out, but
I think he's going to have a productive first couple of weeks before. No, Russell Gage is in Tampa Bay now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm saying I think he can have a productive start to the season while Godwin's out because he's going to fill that number 2 receiver now. And I think if you sell him maybe 2-3 weeks in the season, you can get a little bit more.
Yeah, I just think as outside of just trying to get draft picks, I would also just target good receivers.
I think it's easier to trade the receivers now when people are trying to like win their league in the offseason, trading for these receivers, than I think it will be in the future.
I mean, you can make the case for certain time periods. You can make the case for that now, but you can also make the case once preseason and those first couple weeks start, and like there's a couple of injuries and people are like, oh fuck, I need a replacement.
So, but like, look, right? Alan Lazard is currently the presumed wide receiver 1 on the Packers. I don't think he will be but he's currently more on the higher end than I think the lower end of what he could be in terms of his value. So I just move on from him now, and I've been doing this in a few years in my leagues. Like, I'll trade those Jalen Reagor types. I might do it with like a Diami Brown or something right now. Terrace Marshall feels like he's probably too cheap at this point, but just trade him for those veterans like Brandon Cooks, OBJ, Adam Thielen, like players that have that production where those are guys that people will actually come knocking about in the middle of the season for even more value than the likes of Alan Lazard, Russell Gage, Terrace Marshall. I can't really see who else is on his team right now, but I don't know.
John Smith, just to make sure, this 2023 pick 5 or pick 12, one of these is your first, correct? This isn't like a random teams for like you have your own pick.
will vamp while he.
I believe so,
waits to
because it's
respond.
like he has 2025, and the way I built it, like you get the same pick for the future years.
Tough thing taking over an orphan is learning my league mates and who will trade and who will not and who are the suckers. Yeah. I mean, when we took our orphan team over last year, we learned real quick who the sucker was. But
Yeah, I mean, it's
I feel
unethical
bad.
fantasy pro tip. You have to take advantage of the bad players. It's just the way the news goes.
because if you don't, someone else will.
Well,
And
the
then
thing
you
is,
just
dude,
fall
like
behind.
the team that we took over, he was one of the bad players, and we looked through the past trades. He was taken advantage of
Yeah.
real hard. Like he was
Yeah.
taken advantage of. He made the classic mistake of like to get a deal done, he would just start throwing on more and more future picks. So like, let's say a fair trade is Brandon Ayuk for 2 seconds. This is not something I'm saying is fair. Just classic example, right? He would be like, yeah, I'll throw you 2/3 to get it done. Just not thinking that those 2/3 actually like are valuable. So he just kept doing that in every trade. Oh yeah, I'll throw you a couple extra picks. So all these trades that we look back through were like, he's just throwing on all his future picks into all these deals. And then a couple years later, he stinks and everyone has all his good draft picks. Like,
That's true.
We're in a way better spot now with that league, but it took some time. This team though, like I don't think it's that bad.
it's really
definitely
not far
bad
off,
of an
dude.
orphan team. Yeah.
The thing is, I'm trying to think of moves that you can do it in 1 year. Because I'm looking at this graph here compared to the league median. Like, you already have a surplus of draft picks. You already have way better quarterbacks than most of your league. You have good tight ends. You're really not far off from the league median receivers. You just need a couple running backs. I traded Aaron Jones for a 23 first. That's a good move. I think for your team in this position, 100% I'd do that.
I think anyone should do that.
Yeah, true.
So I'm assuming that's the pick 12 that he has then.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the pick 12.
Do you just try, if you're him, do you just try to pick up some guys like super cheap? Like a guy like, one of my favorites, obviously. Do you try to go for a Kareem Hunt, a guy like that? Do you try to pick up a Naheem Hines, someone like that that's just going to get you points as a running back here, because he doesn't have much at running back.
It all depends
What's
on
the
the
point
price.
of going out and getting Naheem?
Yeah, that's my problem. Is that like the more
This
I
is
look
not a
at this, the
competing
more
team.
I think you got to go with the classic Reddit rebuild. Like, let me just get all good young receivers and draft picks, and then a year or two from now, I just have a slew of like sick young players, and now my value is up to par with the top of the league. And that's why I want to get off of these mediocre players that like they still have value, but to me really don't provide a huge competitive advantage at their position. A guy like a Claypool, Dalton Schultz potentially.
A guy like Carson Wentz, right? Is he a trade or is he a hold and see if like someone's quarterback gets injured?
I think
I'm
you
on
got
the
to
fence
hold.
about that.
I think you got to hold him into the season.
What would you be looking for if like quarterbacks went down? Like say, I'm not going to say whoever gets injured, but like say a top 15 quarterback gets injured. What are you looking to trade Carson Wentz for to that team? Like, I don't think you're definitely not getting a first for Carson Wentz.
No,
you're not.
no,
Like 100% not getting a first.
No,
But
you're
we've
expecting
seen
a second.
Yeah, we've seen. I'm guilty of it. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick and what's his name? Why can't I think of him? The other quarterback, Heineke, go for seconds. You've seen other players like that. I mean, heck, Davis Mills is going for that right now. He's going for almost a late first at this point.
Well, you could always try the Carson Wentz plus a second for a first, or plus whatever for a first, another player on your team.
But you guys are saying wait on that. Don't do it right away.
Well, the quarterback market in leagues, at least in my opinion, if you have a dude whose quarterback just got injured, like you said, or he just made a trading away a quarterback, or he clearly needs a quarterback and is a contender, that's when you get these overpays for quarterbacks and when you want to sell them. Now, whether that includes Carson Wentz is like right on the line of a quarterback that you would want to trade for as your QB2. So I'm not necessarily sure if he fits the bill, but if you have a buyer for your quarterback that really needs a quarterback, and all the other teams, especially right after the startup, the quarterbacks are kind of like evenly distributed, then I think that's when you can get a good deal for a quarterback. So I almost like want to wait for, and when a quarterback gets injured during the season, that situation is kind of more forced than in the off season.
So Wentz for Bateman, something like that. I would 100% do that if I could. I don't know if you can, but I'm looking at our what we did, just so we could speak from experience. Now, Sam Darnold, I do think was in a higher spot last year, but we traded him and Brandon Cooks for, was basically guaranteed to be the 101. At worst, it's the 102. In 2023.
That's why I wanted to trade Claypool. I think you could trade Claypool and a 24 second for a 2024 first, 100%. Dalton Schultz is a little weird. I don't know exactly the deal I would try to get for Dalton Schultz or what I'd offer him out for. What would you offer him out for, JT?
CH. Go and get CH because apparently
I would do the bundle trade with 2024 seconds.
Yeah, right now he's like a 202, I think, is what Keep Trade Cut was saying.
Oh, so. He's that high right now? Oh, then
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's ranked like right ahead of CH.
Maybe
CH.
try 2023 second bundles then. That would probably be my move. I'm sending him to everyone for a second round pick next year.
Cam Akers, I would shop. I'm actually more open to shopping Cam Akers than I was before, but I'm not. I want to get a good deal to sell him. I think he still has a lot of room to go up.
I find this has worked for me a few times now. I don't know if this strategy works in every league, but just that intriguing tight end with that second for a first, like it's worked out for me a few times. I've done like Will Dissly in a second when he was having his couple good games.
Oh, that was terrible. He tore his ACL.
He did. His ACL
also, not just for a first, but for a receiver that's worth a first, you could try too, so that you're not completely limiting your market just to draft picks.
That's true. Zach Ertz in a second for a first. I've done that. You could get. Who would be that receiver though? Who is that? Who do you?
Darnell Mooney. I think Elijah Moore. A lot of people really like.
Devontae Smith. People have been.
I don't like any of these guys that you're saying.
Well, you never liked Devontae Smith.
Let me see who I would want to try.
He was worth like a late first.
Wide receiver.
Maybe
Cortland Sutton.
I actually don't want DJ Moore, Deontay.
I like Deontay. Maybe see
those guys are a little bit higher up, but
yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this: would you trade? So say your league hasn't drafted yet. I know who his has, but like you could still trade for these rookie players. It's not like they're all of a sudden off the table. But would you trade a 2023 second? Let's assume in this case it's going to be pick 5 in 2023. Like what his I don't know if he has it on there. Like pick 17. Yeah, there it is. 2023 pick 17. Would you trade that pick and a Dalton Schultz for Treylon Burks? / do you think that you could make that work?
Pick 17 and Dalton Schultz.
It's a 2023 second. It's probably projected to be more on the earlier side.
And it's so team based.
You could probably trade a receiver to this guy. Where's my plate? That's a great name.
Let me see.
He clearly needs a receiver.
2023 early second.
Fuck, you might be able to trade Wentz to him too, but he's kind of got 3 quarterbacks. All
right, so Keep Trade Cut says that you could do it. Let me see if it's a mid-second, 2023 mid-second. Yeah, it says it's an even trade. I would totally trade. Maybe Treylon Burks isn't your guy. Maybe you're a Garrett Wilson or Drake London might be a little bit more of a push because I think he's just rated higher. But you could Schultz in a 2023 second for one of these like actually top receivers who are actual solid prospects and not kind of fake first round picks. I would do that.
me this guy's got receivers. My site's just lying.
All my leagues are tight end premium, and Schultz was the tight end 3 last year. Should get first. I don't know. Like if Dalton Schultz was truly good, if Dalton Schultz was good, the Cowboys wouldn't have just franchise tagged him. They would have locked him down.
Oh, he added Tolbert in the draft. I like that move.
Yeah, I just wonder where he added him. It's funny, like every league I've been in so far, the drafts ended in like a day, which I'm not used to with the slow drafts. Like
rookie draft shouldn't take that long.
I mean, it's because the first round takes forever with a shit ton of trades, and one person owned like 3/4 of the first.
This is probably your buyer for Cam Akers is Dre Bart. And you could target receivers or picks. He's above the league median in both of those.
Well, on top of this is not, our chat is not Rondale Moore friendly, but like what on top of Akers to get Rondale Moore and Bateman? I don't even know if you have to put anything on top. Let's see, Bateman.
I think that sounds relatively fair.
Apparently, he got put on a late second in 2022, or a Wan'Dale Robinson.
Well, I think the problem is that all the people that have Bateman freaking love Bateman.
JT.
Yep, we're few. We're proud. We are Bateman
Marines
people.
I was thinking the same thing.
This guy badly needs a running back.
I'm just now thinking if you're listening on the podcast,
He needs a quarterback too. God damn.
Making a lot of sense to a podcast.
Oh yeah. If anyone's listening to a podcast form, you definitely need to
check out the YouTube video.
No, dude, we have the video on the podcast now. No.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
I released the podcast as a video on Spotify.
Well, that works. Yeah, that works for Spotify. But if you're an Apple or
true. If you're one of those, I mean,
Odyssey.
I use Apple Podcasts.
I use Apple Podcasts.
Guys, get with the time, fans.
What are the ones? There's other big podcasts that I can't think of.
I think Amazon has something. I don't know.
Anything else to help John Smith's team?
I was trying to come up with some trades for him. Dandy D, he needs a tight end desperately.
That's a name.
Who is this guy's tight end one? Tyler Higbee? Yikes. CJ Uzama?
Looks like that's a perfect guy that can use Dalton Schultz.
Sounds great.
You want the tight end 3 last year? You want the guy that the Cowboys could potentially not sign and just kind of fall into
they franchise tagged? He's the face of the franchise, JT. They used a franchise tag on him.
Yeah, but I guess all in all, I don't know who convinced me. It might have been John Smith, whose team we're supposed to be helping out, or was JT. I agree that I think you kind of just have to commit to a firm rebuildy retool.
I mean, I'll take credit for it, but I think John Smith and I were kind of on the same page when we were saying this is just, it's not a playoff team in its current setting. And I don't think you do yourself any favors trying to force it into.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. I think you could make the playoffs with some luck, but I agree with you.
It seems like he's comfortable not making the playoffs. I think he just wants to know
you're going to put your team in a much better spot by taking this, especially because you have your pick too, which is great. And in our orphan, we don't have our pick for 90,000 years, which
but we do have another pick. We do have the other bad team pick, which is at least intriguing. The players, all right. The players that I would say must go are Dalton Schultz and Alan Lazard. Those are the 2 players that I would actively just like ship off this team as soon as I can.
I will hit him up, but he just drafted James Cook. Where did he draft James Cook? Because if he took James Cook with a premium pick, I think that doesn't necessarily hurt your chances. I think that just shows you and confirms to you that
how desperate
he knows he needs running backs. Because to me, when I need running backs in my leagues, it's not one dude who's the stopgap, especially if it's James freaking Cook. Like I'm looking for like 9 of those dudes. So, like, just because I drafted someone with a late first, early second doesn't mean I'm out of the market for one.
Make it to lose in the first round or get Bijan. I choose Bijan. Well, I mean, I don't know what your league rules is, but this is not a team that comes in last and gets Bijan. Is your issue unless?
Well, I think
it might be if
he's
he
gonna
just-
start selling everyone. He's
Yeah,
gonna
if he
sell
starts-
Dalton Schultz, Claypool, everyone. James Cook was the 109. Oh my god.
Oh God.
I don't know. With Justin Herbert,
109.
with Justin Herbert and Trey Lance, and then just a bunch of randoms, I still think this team could be like second or third worst in the league. Like they might not even be the worst.
Well, wait. Let me see. You guys want to take a look at the worst team in the league? It's apparently Mr. Porco.
Well, the issue is, so we're looking purely off value, so it could be just a bunch of veterans.
Dude, Mr. Porco, you want to know the reason why you don't take all the Titans in a startup? Look at Mr. Porco right here, all right?
I gotta wait
because I'm pretty sure this is there's one every year. There's one every freaking draft. Well, at least for me, it seems like the dude who goes and takes all the tight ends early in the startup. And you get boned. You get so boned. I've never seen that work for anyone.
Well, especially in the current format where it's kind of Kyle Pitts and then bust.
Like, congratulations, you have great tight ends, Mr. Porco.
DeAndre Hopkins
really
and Michael Thomas.
Else. You're hurting bad, bro.
Dude, his running backs 1 through 3 all just got replaced within the past year or two. James Robinson, Michael Carter, and Rashaad Penny.
True, but quarterbacks are going to be drafted first and second. I don't necessarily think so. I think this is like Frank was a big advocate for this, and I wasn't necessarily for it. Frank was saying like take Jonathan Taylor over Joe Burrow in 2021, which proved to be, or was that 2020?
It just depends.
That proved.
I mean, as of right now, Joe Burrow is better. It just depends on. I don't think it's one position over another. It's how good are you as a player and prospect. Jonathan Taylor, to me,
I'm taking prospect. As it currently stands. I'm taking Bijan 101 in every league I'm in. I don't have any 101s as of right now, but
I don't know.
I'm taking Bijan 101.
You're telling me Bryce Young and CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud and Bryce.
I'm just telling you, with the way that the current quarterback landscape is and the way that the running back landscape is, Bijan Robinson is like a lock to be running back. Yes.
By the middle of the season, we are guaranteed to be looking at the quarterback landscape completely differently. And
I'm talking about well, we know Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and I don't know, like Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert. Those guys are all going to be top quarterbacks.
Yo, look at this comment. Mr. Porco is 5 first. He drafted Kenneth Walker, Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Sky Moore.
Okay. So you got
Joe Herbert took Burrow over Taylor in that rookie draft.
CJ is the 101. I just disagree. I think Bijan Robinson.
I think it's
running back.
I'm taking that. What's the Alabama guy's name?
Bryce Young.
I'm taking Bryce Young over CJ Stroud.
But look, all right, both those guys get drafted in the league. Where are they? They're probably quarterback like 8, 9. Like Bijan Robinson's got to be
quarterbacks are hard to judge, bro. Like anything can happen with quarterbacks. Like we've seen it so many times where.
Yeah, so why
let's say you look at the
Bijan
age over production, like the age adjusted production numbers.
First overall.
Quarterbacks are crazy. Like running backs and receivers and tight ends. Like if you're a beast, your freshman and sophomore year, especially sophomore year, it's like it's not freaking rocket science that you're a damn good player.
That's what I'm saying. This time last year, we were probably saying Sam Howell was like a top 3 pick, maybe even 101, and now he's going in like the 4th, I think.
Yeah, but Bryce Young and Stroud are on a different tier than
those guys are good. Like, don't get me wrong.
Very good.
But they're not, as of right now, they're not Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. They're not those guys. Where Bijan Robinson, I think he comes into the league and he's immediately
I think college production-wise, they're comparable to most players besides like
Burrow. But it's super finicky in that. Well, okay, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. We just saw what
Trevor Lawrence and Burrow are like kind of the exception because Trevor Lawrence is the most hyped up prospect and Joe Burrow had arguably the best college QB season of all time.
I mean, this is going to be an argument we have a year down the line.
Okay,
I think if you're expecting Bijan to be anywhere past 102, I think
it's possible he ends up 103. I think he'll be the first non-QB, but I just think I see a world where Bryce Young and Stroud are picks 1 and 2.
He's my 101. Yeah, the quarterbacks will get that. I mean, I like the quarterbacks, but Bijan Robinson will be like.
I like Bijan too.
1.
I think he's a beast.
I'm responding to.
I agree that he's running back 1.
But I'm talking about like running back 1 overall.
Oh,
Well,
overall,
like
he
he'll
might
be in the conversation of like him versus Jonathan Taylor.
He might be, but could you trade Jonathan Taylor for like Joe Burrow right now?
I think it's right about even.
It's pretty even, but I'm saying like these two quarterbacks, they don't need to get to like Mahomes level.
I would say
If they get to like Burrow's level,
overvalued right now. If you're saying if they get to Burrow's level, the quarterback that just led his team to the Super Bowl and has two top like 10 receivers in the league. Okay, but like, Jared Goff was never that high. Like Jared Goff is not. But you know what I'm saying? Like you need a lot going your way to get to Joe Burrow level.
I mean, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert didn't make. Like,
Joe Herbert, you're a Will Levis guy.
Jonathan Taylor is above Joe.
Will
no.
Levis
is that how you say that? I really swore it was Levi's.
I don't know how to say the names. Do you think I listened to the games with sound on?
I do. The reason I listen more about him is he's the one that like he eats the banana with the peel and has like mayo in his coffee.
Psychopath. He puts mayo in his coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on my do not draft list.
Who?
No.
Will Levis.
Oh, I was already low on to begin with. Yikes, bro. Yikes.
He's
mayo in the coffee?
Yeah. He's from like right around where I am currently. That's actually
this man's a psychopath.
Mayo.
Yeah. But dude, you gotta remember, he's gonna be coming out as a 23-year-old.
Imagine drinking that and like hot coffee.
How do you guys not
with just some mayo?
How do you guys not hear about like Will Levis and his weird stuff?
I didn't. I guess I was out of the loop.
Maybe I'm slandering.
I missed
out. The thrill.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not lying. I just looked it up. The drama started when Levis posted a TikTok video adding mayo to his coffee.
There's zero chance I can trust
in the viral video posted October 1st. Kentucky Wildcats quarterback Will Levis squirts some Hellman's mayonnaise into his coffee and drinks it.
Was he at least like in like the mayo bowl or something? Is that why he did this?
This would have been in October.
They played in it.
I don't think they played in it.
They didn't play in the mayo bowl.
It's disgusting.
Like, yeah, that would be it, dude. If he was playing in it, that would be sweet.
Disgusting.
I would love him. No, oh my god, I have a picture. Oh wait, that's Deers the Sith Lord. Hold on. Boom. Squirting the mayo in the coffee. That's a firm stream. That's not a little bit of mayo. He's going to town.
See, okay. There. Thank you, Pizza R. He's coming in here. All Bijan has to do is stay healthy, and many will have him as running back 1 in Dynasty and will never trade him. Exactly. Like, it's just... We're talking about the running back 1 versus quarterbacks like 8 and 9.
Oh, this picture is disgusting. I'm just looking at the mayo coffee picture right now.
It's tough. He also, I mean, we're talking about he ate a banana with the peel. I'm pretty sure. Like
that's less gross than this.
Look at this.
That's
look
less
at the
gross
mayo
than
coffee. Look at
mayo coffee is worse than anything.
Nasty. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, he's on my do not draft list. Easy. Not touching him. Someone else can. Go put the mayo face.
John Smith saying, so before you go, the layover team with Burrow.
Okay,
I'm assuming there's going to be a follow-up question on that one.
All right, so I'm gonna find it. I don't have the names of the teams. I didn't exactly put that in the code. So hold on, let me go through these.
Bijan might not get the capital. I mean, as long as he's in the second round, he's getting.
He'll get the capital.
Yeah. If Najee Harris is a first
dude, this
round,
is hilarious. I'm pretty sure in this league with Burrow, I also am playing with 2 of these guys.
Oh.
I'm in a league with this guy and this guy, I'm pretty sure. I just highlighted everyone. This guy and this guy. Yo, Mr. Porco, look, he's back. Does he go all tight ends again? No, so he's a fraud.
Not a tight end.
He's a fraud.
He's not a tight end enthusiast.
He learned
he's
from
a
the
Kenneth
first team.
Walker truther, though. He's got Kenneth Walker in 2 leagues. All right, let's look at your team here.
It's Ken Walker now?
No, excuse me. Here's the squad. Is this the right team? I'm not gonna. This is the team we were supposed to be analyzing. I'm pretty sure the whole time.
This one doesn't have Herbert though.
No, he said the one with Burrow.
Yeah,
No,
but earlier he said the one with Herbert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got Justin Jefferson, Joe
my God.
Burrow, Watson, Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Mac Jones, Antonio Gibson, Davis Mills, Dotson, CEH, LMAO, speak of the devil.
All right, so I mean,
Kadarius Toney,
Wide
a
receivers
bunch of
is
late
the
round
big one.
guys. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2023 firsts.
Well, that's always
This
good.
is, was this just a roster jerk sesh?
I think it was.
Yeah, that's
This
what I
team's
thought.
nasty, dude. This team's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I
Man,
don't
can
know.
you just
I don't
running
know what
backs, but you
advice.
have- It has.
don't know
it
what
needs
advice
running
you
back,
really
but
want
you're
us to
about
give.
again with those 6 firsts you have next
Yeah.
year.
this is one where if I was with this team, right, it would feel very enticing. It'd feel very enticing to. Oh wait, he was putting no with all caps. I don't know.
Oh, the
That
roster jerk
knows.
sesh. No, I'm just giving you shit. It's okay.
Are we sure that's what it's about? I don't know.
Oh, you
I
didn't have a
lost
tight
last year
end.
because my tight end. Yeah, I mean, who's your tight end one? Oh, Zach Ertz. I actually don't think that's that bad. Zach Ertz,
Yeah, I
Hayden
forget what
Hurst.
Zach
I mean,
Ertz did in the playoffs, but he was
okay.
solid.
Honestly, I don't think you need to panic buy a tight end because that's what I'm getting from the sound of it. I actually think that Zach Ertz and Hayden Hurst are gonna be just as good as any of the tight ends that you go out and buy that aren't the tippy top ones,
Well,
which you're gonna have to overpay for.
let me push for this question though. On top of John Smith's firstborn child, how many of those 2023 picks to get Kyle Pitts?
Probably.
Three gets it done. Is it worth it?
2023
Probably
first?
not.
Yeah, I would never give up
No,
all those
I'm
first.
not.
I love
Buying
Kyle
Kyle
Pitts. But that is a
Pitts
lot of
Impossible.
2023 first for Kyle.
I'd rather
Um,
just take guys.
I mean, if you're really trying to win a championship specifically next year, I'd maybe see what Travis Kelce's price is.
It's still a first, buddy, but the only one.
Look,
Maybe a late first or like a 24 first instead of like a good 23. Like, if you're
I'm
trying to win next year,
confused.
I still think, or like, I would check in on the price on Waller because I don't think like he's on a Tatum. You could probably
How-
get Waller for half the price of Pitts.
Frank,
Yeah,
can
but are
you
you
scroll
giving up
down
first
again,
for these
please?
guys?
Less
Yeah.
than half the price.
Can you scroll down again, please, Frank? Because I'm
Is this
confused
good?
how this team is making it. I don't know. I'm on delay, so I'll have to wait and see. Like, where is this team picking up all the points that he is in the finals?
Oh, dude, this is a nice. Look at his depth pieces, dude. He's got a guy like Jameson Crowder.
I'm currently looking
Last
at like
year,
Davis
Sony
Mills,
Michelle was a
Jahan
little
Dotson.
RB pickup.
Okay, now I'm starting to see the other players.
He went up against the Kelsey 48-point game. Yeah, no, I mean, so for someone like Pitts is my advice. I would check out to see what like the Darren Waller owner.
See, I don't
what that price
agree
would
with
be.
that. I think that you can go out here
Just
and
draft-
you can
just draft
bargain buy
Mayer.
tight ends in the future. You can either
But he's trying to win this
Trade-
Things
year.
over.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think any of these tight ends that you mentioned, without overpaying, are going to outperform Zach Ertz.
Yes, they will by a lot.
You
don't think
How
Darren
many
Waller?
more
Agree.
points does Darren Waller get you per game than Zach
Yeah.
Ertz?
Yeah.
I am.
And is it worth the first that you have to give up to get him?
But all right, can we run this through again? Because like, so he's going to be starting Burrow and Deshaun, so that's a lot of points from your quarterback position. It's probably like 40 points. He's got Justin Jefferson and Deontay, so that's a decent amount of points. Then I guess you're throwing out Crowder and I forget who was up there. I don't think Jahan Dotson's going to produce right away,
His receivers are Justin Jefferson.
so that's really good. It's like another,
Yeah, that's very good.
it's like
Deontay,
another 20. It's like 10 to 15. So we're talking
Garrett
like
Wilson.
40, 60, 70.
So RB.
75,
I don't
80.
know I don't know if he said he traded T Higgins.
I'm guessing traded away T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gibson's a running back. CH is a running back. I
That's
don't know.
not-
Do you start 2 or 3 receivers in this league?
This doesn't feel like a championship team as it is currently set up. Now it has.
No, it's not. But he
Yeah.
has championship level value.
Yeah, he's got the 6 picks or whatever he has in 2023. first.
I think I would. I mean, the first move I'm making, I'm selling Davis Mills because I don't think you ever play him.
No. Yeah. See you, Davis Mills. Is
Like
this
I
the-
think I think the only reason I keep on to Davis Mills if I need him as a QB3, but you have, I mean, okay, yeah, if Watson doesn't play, I can understand why you've had Davis Mills. I don't want to hold the bag on Davis Mills at this value, or even if you could trade him, if you have to trade him slightly lower than this value.
Oh, if this is a league where you only have to start 2 wide receivers, it does look significantly better.
Okay, so you start 2 receivers. So yeah, then you can move Garrett Wilson to the flex, and then you have to flex you could flex Crowder.
Okay, that was going to be my question right now. Looking to sell Mack in a third for Trey Lance. I mean, I would never trade Lance for Mack in a third, but if you're like confident that that's been offered to you, like go for it.
Yeah, smash it. You should accept that yesterday. And then you really sell Davis Mills, because then you're never going to play him. The thing is, though, is that like I mean, it's not that you would never play Davis Mills, but I would rather just have the value of Davis Mills at a running back than I would in Davis Mills. It's almost like you have him in a rainy day fund that all of your quarterbacks are done, are like out. And like, yeah, Watson might not play, but even with Watson out, I'm probably playing Mac Jones 90% of the time over Davis Mills. And is it really that much of an issue if you have to play a receiver where Davis Mills is? If you go and pick up a running back that is at this Davis Mills level?
Yeah, John Smith is saying to check keep trade cut. Yeah, it is saying like 209, 208 plus Mac Jones gets you Trey Lance.
It's not close. It would take like a decent first.
I think the problem with keep trade cut right now is that Trey Lance, that Trey Lance to QB 15-ish range is too underpriced, because you can do similar trades with Justin Fields, you can do similar trades with Zach Wilson, but I think that those guys are just underpriced.
He's QB 15.
He's QB 11.
That's crazy.
Justin Fields like QB 13. But yeah, I think my first move is I'm selling Davis Mills. I think part of the issue too, though, is that if you're only starting 2 receivers, you have a lot of these like young receivers that are kind of question marks. I once again might rather trade them or package them. I don't like these 2 running backs, so I would like package a Spiller and a Tony plus a pick and get an actually good running back. I know you just traded some of those guys away, like a Montgomery, but you can then go out and then trade for a different running back.
I really want to, you know what? There is. What's his name? Adieko or something? There's a way he scraped.
He scraped all the trades from Sleeper.
Yeah, because I want to see what Trey Lance is actually going for. Because I can't believe Trey Lance. Like John Smith saying the dip is real. I don't know if that's from experience or kind of just wishful thinking. But like, there's no way Trey Lance is going for.
Because I mean, one of the clear answers to get this team back in the championship is to sell all those 23 picks for players. But honestly, I kind of want to just diamond hands them all, and then like. I might sell them, but I'll sell them in the off season, like when they're, I'll sell them when that time comes. But I think with your players, you can have a chance at the championship. You won't necessarily be a favorite, but like you're above the league median at receiver and quarterback, and you're almost there at running back. Your tight end, you're below the league median in value, but I really don't think your tight ends are as bad as you say they are. Because I think that Zach Ertz is like an average tight end start. And like I think Hayden Hurst is actually going to be usable this year. I mean, if you can bring in a guy like a Cole Kmet for value, or where's some other good tight end buys? I don't really want to buy Tanyan in your spot. It's just like not worth it. Who's a good young tight end to buy?
Good young tight end. Kyle Pitts. Ever heard of him?
No.
Wait, who's that?
Fryermuth?
I think Fryermuth's a little
Yeah,
overpriced.
he's overpriced. All right, I'm trying
It's
to.
not that he's overpriced. It's just his upside is priced. I've traded Lance and Ayuk for Wilson and Sanders. Komet is a gamble. Yeah, but I think Komet is a dude that, I mean, if you're looking to improve your tight end spot, is probably a lock for over 100 targets and gives you more long-term options than your, because I mean, I agree with you that your tight ends are a problem, but for next year, not this year. I think this year you're fine. Next year is going to be, you're going to have to spend some money to get them, or your draft capital. Hawkinson or Muth, Knox. I like TJ Hawkinson. But once again, TJ Hawkinson, you're going to have to start shelling out firsts. And this league is tight end. And in this league, tight ends are overvalued because tight end premium.
All right, so I'm officially doing the research. And it's loading for Trey Lance. I may have jumped the gun on when I said I was doing my research because it takes a long time for this to load.
I mean, push comes to shove. I think that running back is more of a pressing issue for this team than tight end in terms of competing next year. I am not comfortable going into the season starting Antonio Gibson and CEH at my running back spots. And then my backups are Isaiah Spiller, Tyler Algier, Marlon Mack, Keontae Ingram. Like that. Yeah, that's where I'm concerned, if not at tight end.
If CEH or Antonio Gibson's on bye, there's a legitimate chance you're putting up a 0.
Even OJ Howard, the value like a second. Albert O, they wanted a 1 and a second.
This one. All right. Here's recent trades for Trey Lance. Trey Lance for Tua, Malik Willis. This year's 106 and 207. And we got Trey Lance for 110, 210, a 2023 first and a 2023 second. Try and look at ones that are just Trey Lance. Trey Lance for 205 this year and a 2023 first. Trey Lance for Elijah Mitchell, 206 this year and a 2023 first. Like these are just not.
Oh, dude, you've got a ton of 23 seconds too. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's why I brought up trading for a tight end because he has ammo.
Well, he's saying though that a lot of the tight ends are overpriced. I think you should trade for a running back, not a tight end. I think your tight ends are fine.
Albert O, they want. I know you just brought that up. I feel like we didn't talk about that enough. Like I couldn't even trade Albert O in a tight end premium league for just like an early second.
What package for an RB from which team? All right, well, let's see.
What package for an RB from which team?
Who is a bad
I think Muth is overvalued right now. Because, I mean, if I look at who Pat Fryermuth is going for.
James Conner. You could probably, I mean, I think James Conner, I mean, this dude should be looking for picks. You could probably get James Conner at whatever his consensus value is. I would trade for James Conner. There's one potential option from 10 Brady 12. Exact trade. I don't know. I don't have the team names for your second, but probably a little bit over one of those 23 seconds is what my starting offer would be.
Like Pat Fryermuth is going for. Pat Fryermuth is going for Noah Fant in a second, and to me, I just think Noah Fant's a better tight end. So that's where I'm saying Pat Fryermuth's overvalued. There are multiple Noah Fants in a second for Pat Fryermuth. Huh.
This guy, I don't think Melvin Gordon's really pushing the needle enough for me. I think you want to go a little bit higher than a Melvin Gordon. Let's see. What about if Alvin Kamara doesn't have Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara doesn't have Alvin Kamara. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that?
Terrible team name.
So this guy, he's got a lot of aging running backs. No. What other teams? Combsy, what does he got? He's got a lot of young players. Potentially Josh Jacobs. I don't love him at this price. Or Leonard Fournette or Elijah Mitchell. I think one of these three backs you might be able to pick up at a good price. This guy could use receiver and quarterback. He should be interested in draft picks as well. One of those three, I personally like Elijah Mitchell at this price. I think this is a good price for Elijah Mitchell. Because compared to James Conner and Leonard Fournette, he's a little bit more expensive, but you also have 2-3 year potential usage out of Elijah Mitchell compared to the projected, okay, you're buying James Conner for 1 year and you are praying to all that is holy for 2.
Yeah.
And same thing with Leonard Fournette. Let's see. Who else is here? Pitt Panther? No, not trading for a running back from this guy. He doesn't have any. The FF president? This is the president, guys. I checked the price on Saquon, but that's because I just love Saquon.
Yeah, things went downhill in our pick first player when half of us were on pick for the first one you brought up.
Yeah, that's when I knew. I was like, oh, well.
Davis Mills for a Mitchell. Yeah, I'd do that. I would definitely trade.
Yeah, I would do that. I would even throw stuff on top of Davis Mills for Mitchell. Drew Peanuts. Does he have a veteran back? No. Drew Peanuts, he's got good running backs, but I feel like he's not going to want to trade them because they're all young. That he seems to have a thing. No one likes Zeke. I would check the price on Zeke, but I can understand if you don't want to. SD Perkins, who's he have? Oh my God, SD Perkins. His team is horrible.
That's funny because I'm always watching on a second delay from the where we record to the YouTube that I'm looking at. So it's funny to get the preview of what I'm about to see.
Dude, this guy's team is bad. Holy smokes. His fifth or sixth best player, you can make an argument, is Dameon Pierce.
Wow, John Smith's hoping on Connor to get hurt.
All right, well, I guess that's where I would start for some of the running backs in your league. You could definitely shoot a little bit higher and just look at any of the top-end running backs from that David Montgomery to Travis Etienne range. But once again, if you want to diamond hands those first, then you're going to have to shell some of those out for a running back. So if you don't want to shell out those first for a running back, just turned on my Xbox by accident. If you don't want to shell out those first for a running back, then yeah, going for one of those guys that we mentioned is probably your best bet. There we go. All right. This episode ran late.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for those who are into the whole team building aspect. Otherwise, it probably won't make sense to a lot of people, but it's fine. The first half, they could just turn off the podcast.
If you want your team, unless you have it on Sleeper, drop us your team name / league ID in the chat. We'll be glad to do it.
Or in the comments.
Preferably league ID. It's easier to find that way. But yeah, Well, also make sure you let us know your team name though if you're going to give us the league ID because we can't figure out which of the 12 teams is you.
Sorry, JT, I'm going to plug some more. If you're interested in using this sweet application, this sweet nectar of information, check out thirdand20.com. Make an account. It's free. I won't email you. I'm the only application that will not email you.
Fair enough. Good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter. And
Yeah,
Instagram.
throw us a like, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. And we appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thank you,
Yeah, we
everyone.
love you guys. And John Smith, I hope we could help out. I know that was kind of a clusterfuck of an analysis, but I hope you could take something out of it.
I think we spent an hour on John's.
But yeah, peace out, guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good one.